All right, today we're going to dive into a philosophy that can literally transform any business. And it's not about changing what you do, but about completely revolutionizing how you make people feel. It's called Unreasonable Hospitality. And believe it or not, the whole thing starts with this spectacular, very public failure.
And this quote right here from restaurateur Will Guidara, this is the heart of it all. See, service is the technical stuff, getting the tasks right, delivering what you promised. It's a monologue, you know? But hospitality, oh, that's about creating a real, emotional connection. That's a dialogue. That's where all the color, all the magic really happens.
So to really get this idea, we've got to go back in time. Picture this. It's 2010, we're at the world's 50 Best Restaurants Awards in London. The stakes are sky high for Will Guidara and his chef partner Daniel Hum from a restaurant called 11 Madison Park. They're ambitious, they're feeling good, and they are about to get a massive reality check.
So the ceremony kicks off, and the very first name they call is theirs. Coming in at number 50, 11 Madison Park. In a room packed with the greatest chefs on the planet, they came in dead last. And what they didn't know at that moment was that a camera was zoomed in on them, projecting their crushed, totally mortified faces onto a giant screen for everyone to see. The humiliation was just total.
Now that kind of public flameout could have ended them right there, but instead it lit a fire. Later that night, fueled by a good bit of bourbon, they grabbed a cocktail napkin and scribbled down that insane, audacious goal. They didn't just want to be better, they wanted to be the best. And at the very bottom of that napkin, Guidara added two final game-changing words: unreasonable hospitality.
So, how on earth do you even start a journey like that? For Guidara, it meant he had to go back to basics and master some foundational ideas before he could even think about breaking the rules. And it all starts with understanding a couple of really key differences. Okay, so this distinction, it is absolutely everything. Service is what you do to someone. It's totally transactional, like getting the right food to the right table. But hospitality is how you make someone feel. That's relational. One is about systems, the other is about genuine connection. Their goal became applying the same intense passion to that feeling as they did to the food itself.
Guidara also had this incredible lesson from his father about balancing two kinds of intelligence. Restaurant smart is that creative, kind of freewheeling energy that makes a place feel special and alive. But corporate smart is what gives you the systems, the accounting, the purchasing, all the stuff that keeps the business healthy. The real trick isn't to pick one, it's to blend the discipline of corporate smarts with the heart of restaurant smart.
Now here's the thing. Before they could ever create this unreasonable hospitality for their guests, they had to create it for their own team. The restaurant culture was broken, totally fractured between the old guard and the new fine dining experts. So the culture had to be rebuilt from the inside out.
So, how'd he do it? Well, it all started with listening. He sat down one-on-one with every single person on the team to just understand their world. Next, he worked to uncover their hidden talents, finding the perfect role for each person's unique strengths. He also built a culture of respect, celebrating wins out in the open, but correcting mistakes calmly and always in private. And, this is so important, he gave his team ownership, empowering them to run their own programs and feel a real stake in the restaurant's success. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, but I know what you're thinking. It also sounds incredibly expensive, right? How can you possibly afford to be unreasonable? Well, this brings us to the simple but frankly brilliant financial rule that made it all possible.
This rule is the perfect example of balancing restaurant smart and corporate smart. The idea is to be absolutely ruthless with 95% of your budget. We're talking scrutinizing every single cost, from dish soap to office supplies. But then, you take that last 5% and you spend it with what looks like reckless abandon on things that create a massive emotional return.
I mean, look at it. It's just this tiny sliver of the overall budget. This proves that this isn't about breaking the bank at all. It's about being incredibly intentional with where you choose to be generous. This little fraction right here is where you create the stories, the memories, the moments that people will talk about forever.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? It's stuff like spending a little extra on these absurdly beautiful plastic spoons for a gelato cart because they just elevate the whole experience. It's surprising a wine lover with a rare, expensive glass of Burgundy that you were able to afford because you saved money somewhere else. And my absolute favorite example. A family from Spain mentioned their kids had never seen snow. So the team used their 5% to buy 4 sleds and have a driver take them to Central Park after dinner. That is unreasonable hospitality.
And what's so crucial to understand is that this isn't just a philosophy for restaurants. Not at all.
It's a mindset that applies to any business, anywhere. Because at the end of the day, we are all in the business of making people feel something.
Just look at the modern economy. It is completely dominated by service industries. So that means whether you're a real estate agent, a software developer, or a doctor, you have a choice, an opportunity to be intentional about how you serve people. The companies that are truly going to stand out are the ones that make this human connection a priority.
Ultimately, that's really what it all boils down to. Are you creating rules and processes that put up barriers between you and the people you're trying to serve? Or are you actively looking for ways to tear them down, to make people feel seen, valued, and like they truly genuinely belong?
You know, this famous quote just captures the heart of it all perfectly. The technical stuff, the service, that fades. But the feeling, the hospitality, that's what lasts. That's the memory you create. It's the color that people remember long after all the black and white details are gone.
And so, we're going to end right where this whole journey began, with a question from a paperweight on Guidara's father's desk. It's the question that led to a wild goal scribbled on a napkin and eventually to the #1 restaurant in the world. So I'll leave you with that same question. In your own work, in your own life, what unreasonable goal would you set if you truly knew you could not fail?